Channel, and if you're new here, like I always say, welcome to the channel. Today is Thursday, June 30th, 2022. I hope you're all doing well as we come to the end of another week and move into a holiday weekend. So in today's video, I'm going to do what I've done at the end of every month this year so far, and that's give a brief recap of the month that is ending, talk about my intentions for the coming month. And in this video, I'm going to do something a little extra too. I'm going to I'm going to talk about the year, like kind of give like a year review since we're halfway through the year, and then talk about my intentions more broadly for the second half of the year. So let's get started. So June was a good month, and really the big standouts in June, the first big standout was that I went to the Visions Conference for the Foundation Fighting Blindness in Orlando, Florida. And that was 2 weeks ago. And if you haven't seen my video about that, I did maybe a 10 or 11 minute video about my experience with that conference. Go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it. It was a pretty cool, fun video to do, and it was a great experience to actually go to that conference. So that was the big thing that happened in June, and then it was just more of the usual stuff on top of that. So just continuing my positive momentum with Ignite recruitment and keeping that train rolling, as I say, and as I've said in other videos. And there's a lot of irons in the fire with that, a lot of people in process, a lot of candidates that I'm talking to and finding for the various roles and job opportunities that we have available. So I'm keeping that going, and it's great, just deepening those relationships with the people over there, and it's just been a very awesome opportunity that I'm very grateful for. I've also been getting closer and closer to submitting my contracting paperwork to sell annuities, and that's going to be done either today or tomorrow when I finally submit that paperwork and get that processed over the next couple weeks to then begin to sell annuity products and services. So that's it for the professional stuff. And then more personally, I've been just keeping, as I've always done for the last decade or so, keep prioritizing my physical health. So I've been, continuing to lift 2 to 3 days a week, running 4 days a week, eating healthy most days of the week, and of course, reserving a few days a week to give myself a little break, my cheat days and things like that. So that's also going very, very well. And I'm grateful for the ability to continue to exercise the way that I do and to take care of my body and my physical health the way that I do. So that's it for the month of June, and now I'm going to talk a little bit about my intentions for the month of July. So in July, I'm just going to keep doing more of the same, keep my efforts going with Ignite recruitment, and I'm going to also be taking a really deep dive into the world of annuities and reading as much as I can and listening to as many videos as I can about what these products are, the ins and outs of them, what's the best way to sell them, what are the best ones to sell that will provide the most value to customers, and learning marketing strategies and sales processes and just everything that there is to know about selling and marketing these products and services and delivering these products and services in an ethical, safe, effective, beneficial way to as many people as possible. Anything to do with that, I'm going to be absorbing that like a sponge in the month of July and moving forward. And I'm really, really excited about it. And I'm excited about the Ignite stuff, the things that we have going on there. And I'm just going to keep exercising, eating healthy, taking care of myself, increasing my efforts with the Foundation Fighting Blindness. And while I brought up the Foundation Fighting Blindness, I also want to say that in an effort to grow the Pittsburgh chapter as the president, I'm going to I'm going to try to start a support group, and I have a couple of things to figure out with that, some logistics and things like that before I actually do sort of an official announcement of that and start implementing and executing on things. But that is my intention, is to learn as much as I can about starting some sort of support group in order to grow the chapter in conjunction with several other things that me and the other chapter leaders and Foundation Fighting Blindness staff members are going to have going in next month and in the coming months. So that's really it for that part of the video. Now I'm going to talk about some of the things that, like, I'm going to do sort of like a middle of the year reflection and talk about what my plans are for the second half of the year. And the first thing that I want to say about that in this part of the video is I am generally a happy person, and I am at peace with many things in my life, many circumstances, many situations, and just things that are in my life. I am generally happy and generally at peace. I also pride myself as being someone who looks at my life as in a very honest and what's the word that I want to say? Honest and reality based way. And it's because of that that I can say the following and share the following thoughts with you. 2022 has not been the year that I thought it was going to be. And that is true on multiple fronts, professionally, financially, personally, regarding things regarding my vision, my eyesight rather, and things related to that. In a lot of really, really key areas of my life, this year has not been the year that I envisioned it being. And just to unpack that a little bit, I thought I would have closed more deals with, through Ignite than I have. I thought that when I went to the Visions Conference that I would hear maybe just a little bit more promising information, which I did talk about that in my video about the Visions Conference, that I got some pretty unfortunate news regarding clinical trials as they relate to me personally in my own situation. So I was kind of kicked in the teeth there a little bit. And that was not very comforting to hear. The things that I was told about my lack of eligibility for trials and stuff was just, and basically told that I'd have to wait for something to come to the market was very jarring. And just, like I said, things in my personal life, just really across the board this year hasn't really been what I expected it to be and what the end of 2021 kind of indicated that it would be, financially, professionally, personally, eyesight wise, all that stuff. That all being said, like I said, I am generally happy with how things are going. I'm grateful for how things are going, even though things aren't going the way that I thought they would. I am grateful for the way they are going. And I'm grateful for my perspective on these things and my honest and reality-driven, reality-based way of looking at things, because that allows me, in my opinion, to, in my mind and in my heart, look at these things, process these things in a very productive way, reflect on these things, receive feedback both from, again, my mind, my heart, as well as those around me who are in my inner circle and people who are that I'm acquainted with and associated with, taking all the feedback and everything that has happened this year on every front and on every level, and using that information to move forward and create the best life for me that I can, using all that information, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and again, processing that information, applying that information to my reality-driven, reality-based outlook on my life, my honest outlook on my life, and continuing to learn who I am. And that is a really, really big breakthrough that I had this year. In the first half of this year, I learned an awful lot about who and what I am. And I've also learned a whole heck of a lot about who and what I am not. And it's because of that's a big contributing factor to my happiness and my peace with what is in my life right now. And I'm very happy and grateful for that. And my intentions for the second half of the year, as I mentioned before here in the video, are to take all that information, process it, digest it, and use it to continue to commit to myself and to my life, to give myself the best life that I possibly can, because I deserve to have the best life that I possibly can. I deserve to be the person that I was born to be, and realizing my full potential in everything that I do, whether it's with Ignite or with my annuity practice that I'm going to start, whether it's with my contribution to the Foundation Fighting Blindness and how I am as a human being to the people in my life, becoming the strongest, best version of myself for me. That's what I'm committed to. not for anybody else, but for me. And I will say that when I become the strongest, as I'm becoming the strongest and best version of myself, and most complete version of myself, I do directly and indirectly benefit those around me, family, friends, people in my life. But it all originates with that commitment to myself. And if I didn't have that, I feel that if I didn't have that commitment to myself first, I would not be able to, I may not be able to go through the things that I'm going through and fall as hard as I'm falling with certain things at certain times and still pick myself up and move forward. If I was living and building these things for anybody other than myself, I feel that I would not be strong enough to keep moving forward and focusing on the positive momentum and just driving that forward the way that I do. It's because I'm committed to me that that is possible. And it's a very comforting feeling knowing that and acknowledging that and learning that over the last many months. You know, I mentioned some breakthroughs in previous videos, and this is just more of all of that. And the more time that goes by, the more apparent it becomes that the lessons that I have learned through various events that have happened in my life and various challenges and things that have come into my life that I've overcome and still strive to overcome a lot of those. It just becomes more apparent the strength that I am, the stronger person that I am becoming in all of that becomes more apparent as time goes on. And again, I'm comforted by that. I am made to be a person of peace with my life because of that, and I am generally happy with how things are going and grateful for how things are going because of that perspective. So thank you all for watching this video. I really appreciate every single one of you, every single view, every like, every share, every comment, every subscription, every single level of engagement from every individual means the world to me. Love you all very much. Please enjoy the long weekend, enjoy the Memorial Day, enjoy the 4th of July weekend, enjoy the food, enjoy the fireworks, enjoy each other's company, enjoy it all. Enjoy it all. Life is great. You are great. I am great. We're all great. Everything is great. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.